Thank you so much. Thank you very much. I want to thank you for joining me tonight. This is a special night for me, and I'm proud to have you here tonight to share it with me. I want to thank my team. First of all, Martin Cassett, Lorna, Daniela, and Steve Webb. Steve had to leave earlier. I want to thank all of I got some church members here. I want to thank them for being here as well. I appreciate you all being here, because I don't think you can be a successful as a state leader if you can't get your church folk to come out and get them to come out and be with you. I want to thank my family. I have my wife. That's my wife. I want to thank my wife for being here. I want to thank my children, all of my children and grandchildren. Stand up. Thank you very much. It's a rare occasion, it's a happy occasion to have all of my children here. Yeah, every one of them are here, every one. I want to thank all of my friends for being here, and all of the supporters for being here tonight. You mean a lot to me. Nothing can happen without family and friends and supporters. So I want to thank all of you for being here tonight. Many things have happened in our region, in our state, in the past year. We need to transcend our past in order to transform Missouri into a place where all can prosper. The time is now to build unity in our community. The time is now to heal the rift between black and white. The time is now to ensure the livelihood remains strong in the middle class. The middle class need to grow. And without strong unions, that won't happen. The time is now for change. That is why I'm here tonight to formally announce my candidacy for the next lieutenant governor for the state of Missouri. I've worked for change and for advancing the rights of others for more than 40 years. I'm a proud retired member of UAW Local 2250. I worked to defeat right to work ballot initiative in 1978 along with my fellow union members. As a proud pastor of the Greater St. Mark Family Church, our congregation has provided a place for community, for those who need refuge or a helping hand or counseling after the loss of our loved ones. I was working for change when myself along with 300 others, stood on I-70 to protest the Missouri Department of Transportation after we found out that despite the fact that they were doing construction work on Highway 70 in the heart of the black community, and not one African American was working on that project. So I was compelled to do something. Like so many other members in the community, I had no political power to influence policy change. The only power I had was to draw attention to the problems of our community, that our community faced. Without political power, the only solution I had was to sit down on I-70 and stop traffic. Sitting down on that highway that day was not just sitting down. I was also standing up. Later, I became president of Metropolitan Congregation United, or MCU. I was sitting in the restaurant talking to my director. We were talking about the skyrocketing crime rate that was taking place in St. Louis, like it is today. And at the time, MoDOT was getting ready to launch a project to rebuild I-64. We wanted to get in on the ground floor. We took busloads of people from St. Louis and Kansas City and places between to Jefferson City. We wanted to talk to MoDOT commissioners about workforce development. And as director of MCU, we asked for a place on their agenda. Because of that effort, the Missouri Department of Transportation formed an advisory committee that I chaired. As I-64 was rebuilt, there were more than 100 African American and women working on any given day on that project. The project drew national attention. It is studied across this nation as to how you can put newly trained workers on a project of that magnitude and have it to come in on time and under budget. As a matter of fact, I should have got paid because the contractor, the general contractor, received $1 million for bringing that project in on time and on the budget. Not 1 million, 5 million. So I should have got a piece of that. But that is what my candidacy is about. It is about turning protest into power. The power to influence economic development. The power to influence how our veterans are treated. The power to influence how our seniors are treated. The power to influence access to quality health care. The power to influence access to quality education. The candidates represent the power to build bridges over the divides of rural and urban, blacks and white, blue collar, white collar. This campaign is about bringing a divided state together. Unlike some of the national candidates that you hear today, We're not about division. We are about bringing people together because we are better together. It's going to be, because you know, people ask me all the time, how you think you're going to win a statewide election? You don't have any money, and you're the wrong color. But as a man of faith, I believe that all things are possible. And so as I look around this room tonight, I see greatness in each of you. And it is the greatness in you that will allow us to win this campaign. In my congregation, we have worked to feed people physically and spiritually, whether it's finding help for our seniors who are having difficulties in paying their bills, their utility bills. We work to make sure that children don't go to bed hungry. It is our job as people of faith and those of us who lead churches to be about the people's business. When the unrest happened after Michael Brown's death in my community, we opened our church doors for the activists to have a place of refuge. Why did we do it? We did it because it was the right thing to do. We did it for those who were tired and hungry. After a long day of marching and toiling, fighting for justice, it was the least we could do. Why I'm running for lieutenant governor? For those who are often unheard, I will make sure we hear you. For those less fortunate, I will make sure your struggles are understood. For those who have always been on the outside, I will make sure your perspective is brought in. I will continue to stand for the good people of the state of Missouri to make sure we never neglect anyone, including the poor, the seniors, and veterans. We need to make sure we never forget where we come from and what needs to happen for our state to transcend our struggle and transform them into a prosperous future for all. The majority party keeps cutting funding for things that matter to us all. Education, seniors, women's health care. Those policies continue to drive us apart. Policies like right to work. Policies, I'm in a union hall. Policies like right to work. Which a right to work bill has already been pre-filed. So we know already we have a fight ahead of us. So we have to prove ourselves. We have to drive, they're trying to prove that they can make this state worse. Well, let me rephrase that. To make this state better by making it worse. Cutting wages doesn't make our state better. what it does is reduce the number of children with health care and ruin the quality of life for every state. In every state that right to work has been passed, it ruins the quality of life for workers all over that state. We cannot allow what happened to our workers in Missouri. We cannot allow that to happen. And I will tell you now, this is a promise that I will make to you right now. If I'm the tie-breaking vote in the Senate, I will stop that sucker in its tracks. I have spent my life working for change, even when times are difficult, because it is the right thing to do. This state needs someone who has a track record of bringing unity in community. And I stand tonight to tell you that the person to do that is me. You asked me tonight, how do we win this election? Winning this election isn't hard. It's elementary. It's elementary. I don't know about you, but there are some people in here that are young enough to remember kindergarten. And then there are some of us who don't remember. But for those of you who can remember, do you remember when you went on field trips and the teacher would tell you when you got there to hold hands, line up, and stay together? When it comes to policy, what are we going to do? When it comes to economic development, what are we going to do? When it comes to how our veterans are treated, what are we going to do? When it comes to how seniors are treated, what are we going to do? When it comes to access to good health care, what are we going to do? When it comes to the fight of expanding Medicare, what are we going to do? When it comes to quality education, what are we going to do? So I say to you tonight, let's hold hands and stay together. If we're going to change this state, if we're going to move from a divided state to a united state, we got to hold hands and stay together. We got to get rid of the old Reagan Democrats. We're just going to be Democrats from this point on, because we got a fight on our hands, and we're going to do it together. And so together we stand, divided we fall. We're not falling for any trickery. We're not falling for anything that the Republicans have to offer. We're going to create our own agenda, and we're going to move on up the King's Highway until we reach our goals. And our goal is to make this a silver star, a gold star state. And we're going to do it. We're going to do it. How are we going to do it? How are we going to do it? How are we going to do it? Stay together. Stay together. Stay together. Help me if you will. Stay together. Say it with me. Stay together. Stay together. Stay together. That's how we're going to do it. God bless you. God keep you. God bless this state. And God bless America.